Hi, I'm Linda Adler-Kassner, a former president of the Council of Writing Program Administrators. I'm currently Associate Dean for Undergraduate Education and the Faculty Director for the Center for Innovative Teaching, Research, and Learning at UC Santa Barbara, where I'm also a professor of writing studies. And I'm very glad to be here sharing some tips for you new WPAs. I'm going to look down periodically because I have my tips written down, and just a few things. The first tip I have for you is to like your job. Like your job, like the people you work with, like your colleagues, like your students. When you like what you do, sometimes it can be a little bit of an effort occasionally, but it always makes it a pleasure to do the things that you are doing. Being a WPA is such an exciting job, and you have so many great opportunities. And remembering this and sort of approaching it as an adventure can be really, really important. Second, listen really hard. You have a great opportunity to make really valuable connections with people, to learn about what people value, to think about what you value, to learn about what your institution values, and to make change from that place of valuing. And to figure all of that out, you just have to listen really hard and really appreciate what people are bringing to the conversation, to the table, and think about how you can forge alliances within that. So that's my second tip. My third tip is to be yourself. We are all different humans, of course, and you were hired because you are a wonderful human, and you're doing that job because you're a wonderful human. You bring really important assets to the position. That said, you will encounter many other people whom you admire, both in your institution, beyond your institution. Think about what it is that you admire about them and how you can perhaps use some of those assets that they have to build your own foundation of great assets to bring to any conversation. But you can't be another person, but you can certainly build on the things that you admire from others, that they lead you to think about, that you can sort of observe them doing and think about how to incorporate that in your own practice. Because of course we all grow and change as people. Really important when we're administrators. My next tip has to do with this. Hands. You can see I'm a hand talker. And so I would encourage you to do what I do most of the time, and that is practice ESPN hands. Perhaps you are not an ESPN watcher, but on ESPN or any other news show, and ESPN of course is a sports news show, anchors will often hold a pen like this down on the desk. And I know you can't see the desk because this is a small video screen. If you hold a pen, you don't talk with your hands. Talking with your hands can be really distracting. So I do a lot of practicing of ESPN hands when I'm in meetings. Practice ESPN hands. That is my next tip to you. Next, get to know your institutional research people. They can be some of your absolutely most valuable allies. They have just mountains of data that can be so important and so useful for you. Also, they can help you design studies to gather data, interpret data, so really get to know them. They are really wonderful people a lot of the time. Sort of in conjunction with that tip, if you're not familiar with quantitative work and quantitative research, become familiar with it as much as you possibly can. Right now, numbers are very powerful in the university. And as WPAs, we always need to be really good at thinking about how to think in and speak with numbers as best we can, of course. And we know that numbers don't always make a case, but numbers can be really important for making a case. Finally, I'll end with a tip that I learned in one of the workshops that Glenda Oyoung facilitated at 4Cs when we had lots of workshops by people who work with community organizations. And that's replace judgment with curiosity. When you hear something that rankles you or that you have a strong reaction to, ask, what's going on there? What can I learn? What can I explore? How can I get to know? I think this is a really powerful tool for building alliances, for thinking about how to build strategy with other people, and just for orienting ourselves to the world. So I hope that those are helpful tips. I wish you really good luck. I wish that we could be together face to face, but I know that you will do great.